Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good wherever you are. I'm your host, That Little Asteroid Chick, the channel where we discuss the natal charts of writers, artists, and anyone else that I find interesting. So for today, I wanted to try my hand at another viral topic that's going on. So unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure everybody has heard that Diddy's homes have gotten raided. And there has been some scandalous stuff in there because Diddy is a very scandalous person. He's very much tapped into that more shadowy energy of being a Scorpio sun. But I wanted to discuss Young Miami, aka Caresha. And I wanted to just do a very quick look at her transits, only because, one, she's in the news, and then also I wanted to diversify some of the material that I offer on this channel. So the Hood Astro Queen, aka Megan, she has done a beautiful natal chart reading of Young Miami as well as of her synastry with Diddy. So I'm not going to cover most of the aspects in her chart. I'll link Megan's natal chart readings in the description box below. But I did want to see what was going on with her, especially since her name apparently was brought up in some of the legal documents as being one of Diddy's concubines, of being a sugar baby. And she has now come out and said that the allegations weren't true, but she hasn't specified to the degree in which there were lies in it. I think looking at her natal chart as well as her North Node, she probably did that stuff. And there's been a lot of speculation around whether or not she's going to be charged because of what has been alleged, which is that she is an S worker and that she also engaged in these freak-offs with Diddy. I personally feel like I missed, sidebar by the way, I missed my calling to be a lawyer because I would love to write such outrageous depositions. But without further ado, I wanted to take a look at her asteroids as well as at her transits to see what's going on. I know that she has spawned a lot of vitriol. I think one reason is because of the tweets where she made fun of us commoners, such as myself, who have to punch in and out, as well as the fact that she has been so aggressive and engaged in such pygmy behavior with Diddy, only for it all to come out that it was a lie. So I'm sure that lots of people are out for blood because she talked down to people on social media. Looking at her transits just very briefly, I'm going to say I think she's going to get away with this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the asteroids that she has going on in her chart. So Young Miami, aka Caresha, was born on February 11th, 1994 at 12 p.m. So I always got to talk about the nodes. The first thing that I notice with Caresha's chart, and I'm not going to go over most of this, is that she has her North Node at that 28th degree of Scorpio, and that is running conjunct to her Pluto. It's only separating by 1 degree. Now, when it comes with a North Node of Scorpio, she's most likely someone who came from many past lives where she was a square. She was part of the mainstream because Taurus represents the mainstream. What she's supposed to learn in this particular lifetime is to embrace the deeper meaning of things. She's supposed to learn to not be so superficial. This means that she's going to have a life that will be very polarizing and that will be steeped in a lot of controversy. Her relationship with Diddy was a part of her exploration of her soul because Diddy is a Scorpio sun. So it was a sun North Node hookup that she had in her chart. And this is going to bring about a lot of transformative experiences because she does have that Pluto conjunct to the North Node. I would say, though, that with having that conjunction in her chart, this is going to point to where she will experience a lot of prominence in this lifetime, as well as be the subject of a lot of controversy, as well as a lot of tragedy. I did see this. I also could see with this hookup in her chart, and I don't want to get too morbid, but when she transcends to the ultimate plane, it's going to be something quick. This will not be a long degenerative disease. So I did want to point that out in terms of talking about her nodes. And I did want to take a look at some of her asteroids to see what might be going on specifically when it comes to her psyche. So the first asteroid that I noticed was going to be the asteroid Groom. And of course, this is going to deal with grooming. I see this as being an asteroid that could also deal with S work, because it does deal with being trained for a service. And that is actually conjunct to her sun in her midheaven. So Caresha was most likely somebody who was, she's not new to this, she's true to this. I did see this to where there could be something rather unusual when it comes to the ways in which she was groomed and the ways in which she was serviced and had to service others. And this does point to the allegations that she had made, specifically with Gina Wynn, when Gina, I believe, went on to Tasha K's show to talk about Diddy, and then Young Miami fired back and said, like, you a eater. That to me actually points to that aspect, that Young Miami may have been trained in this way in order to do this. And it could have been something that she could have been quite successful of. And I say that because the asteroid Groom is also conjunct to the asteroid Amor, which refers to the ways in which we will want to be loved or how we will show up as being loved. And that is conjunct to her sun, Venus, and her midheaven. So I think that this is something that would have been quite profitable for her. And she also would have been somebody who would have experienced a lot of like drastic changes, specifically to her income as well as to her public image because of what's come out. I think that before, and I haven't seen the show with Caresha, is that she has kind of cultivated this image before of being like, yeah, like I rap about these things, but this isn't who I am. No, I think this is very much who she was. And this was something that was very deep within her psyche, that this is how she's supposed to show up in the world. And I say that because she does have her midheaven, and that is going to be in opposition to the fourth house. So with this opposition, this means that this was most likely something that she was going to be trained to do. It's very much a part of her identity, as well as the way that she sees herself. Another interesting asteroid is that she has Lancelot, which deals with adultery and affairs, and that is conjunct to her moon, Venus, as well as her Saturn. So this could refer possibly to Diddy. This also could refer to having serviced other men within the industry, possibly older men who would have, come to her in this particular way. And she also has the asteroid Psyche, which I like to refer to as being like the who your bike asteroid. So while a Chiron is usually going to refer to like things that have hurt us, wounds that have hurt us, I believe that with the asteroid Psyche, she may never get over this, and that is also conjunct to her Neptune. So Neptune and Capricorn, it's going to speak to having a love and a desire for money. It's going to be a desire for wealth and prestige and for status. And that is something that really does drive a lot of what she does. But unfortunately, this is going to get her caught up in scandal because of that Neptune influence. It's also going to be something where it could mess with her mental health, where she could have some delusions about what she's doing. And this could refer to a wound that, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at this, you could say, this could be something that perhaps she may never really get over in this particular lifetime. And that is something, which I do find to be kind of sad. Another one that I think is, somewhat interesting is that she has the asteroid Nymphe, and that's going to refer to negative reactions that we may have, specifically around our sexuality. And that like it is running conjunct to her Chiron, which is in Virgo. So this also could be another major aspect when it comes to S work, because Virgo is one of the signs that represents escort because it deals with the service. So part of her expectations that she was supposed to meet in this lifetime was to be of service to others, and then to have this asteroid Nymphe conjunct to that vertex. This to me just says it all. It says that the allegations that are most likely within the legal document, they're true. Whatever they're saying, she did that stuff, because it is very much linked to who she sees herself as. Another asteroid that I think is very interesting is that she has the asteroid Cassandra, which refers to either advice that we don't take or advice that we give that other people don't take. And that is in Aquarius, and it looks like that is running conjunct to her Mars. So this actually has to do with her namesake. This could refer to something that she could be doing, such as servicing older men, that may not be within her best interest. And I'm pretty sure that somebody most likely told her this. It could have been somebody in the industry, because it is running conjunct to that midheaven, who could have told her, and maybe she just elected to ignore it. Another interesting asteroid, and then I'm going to move on to talk about the short term and the longer term transits, is that she has the asteroid Niobe. And Niobe is going to refer to areas in which we may end up being a little bit too arrogant about, and where we may end up being humbled in some way. Is that the right one? I'm going to say that's the right one. Yes. Okay. And it also could refer to a loss of a child. And that is running at that 22nd degree. 22, that is the control or be controlled degree. So this is going to be her being put in situations that are not that great for her. And then she has to choose in between either what she wants or what the other person wants. To have this in my chart, I would say that if you have this, then just go ahead and just pick what you want. Don't pick what they want, because they're going to get you in a lot of in a lot of trouble that they're not going to be honest about. So I would just say that. Now she does have that in her chart, and that is actually conjunct to her Sun and her Venus and her midheaven. So this to me represents all the tweets that she had about how other people were so much lower than her, because she had all this money, and how she was lavish with this glamorous lifestyle. That Pisces moon conjunct to Mercury, this does very much speak to a glamorous lifestyle that she would have, and how other people are jealous of her. However, it looks like this is where she was unfortunately going to be humbled, and right now I think she is experiencing that in terms of being humbled by the public. I've only seen a few of the commentary channels that were talking about this. And while, I don't know. I think that there could be some truth to the fact that maybe she could be a little bit more, less sympathetic because of those tweets. And I also do wonder if there is some misogyny running rampant in that as well. Okay, another interesting asteroid is that she has the asteroid, I think it's Ixion. And this is going to refer to a violation and unethical behavior. So this was, and that's not running conjunct to her Niobe. That is running conjunct to her South Node, as well as to her Pluto. So I that this could be part of the karma that she might have, specifically. Oh, I'm sorry, it's running conjunct to her North Node. I can't read these. It's running conjunct to her North Node, as well as her Pluto. So this is a part of her soul path, is engaging in this unethical behavior that she has been alleged to have endured. So next I want to talk a little bit about her transit short term, and why I believe that she most likely is going to get away with this. Now here's why I think she's going to get away with this. First, a transit that we have is Neptune in Pisces is trining with her North Node in Scorpio. So this to me would speak to having some protection going on, cosmically speaking, for what she's going through. Another interesting one is that she has the current Saturn in Pisces running in trine to her Jupiter in Scorpio. So even though right now a lot of people don't like her, I think that eventually the public opinion is going to change, and they might see her as being a little bit more sympathetic, and that could take maybe a couple weeks for that to happen. Another interesting aspect is that she has her is that she has the transiting Uranus, and that is running in square to her sun. So this to me is going to be the drastic change that we've seen in terms of her public opinion, and this is what we're noticing. I do think that it's probably going to die down a little bit. And another interesting aspect is that the transiting Jupiter is running in opposition to her Jupiter. These two, I would say, with the Uranus squaring her sun, as well as with the Jupiter in opposition to Jupiter, this could explain as to why she's maybe been so high profile with this case, and why maybe she's getting a lot of vitriol in terms of the ways that she conducted herself. So finally, because I didn't want this video to be too long, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the outer transits that are going on. So these are the moving planets that are going to be happening for this year. So as I said before, Neptune is trining Pluto. This to me actually says that she's going to have some type of luck as well as some type of protection when it comes to these allegations. Uranus is transiting Uranus is trining with her Neptune as well. So this could represent a drastic change in the way that the public sees her. Transiting Mars in Aries is in conjunction with her. Oh, I am so sorry. Her transiting Mars is it's in conjunction with her Mercury in Aquarius. So this to me actually could represent the sudden upset that she's experiencing from the public, because Mars and Aquarius, it can deal with like drastic changes, especially when it comes to groups of friends, groupthink, as well as with the internet, because Aquarius deals with the internet. Another interesting aspect is that she has her Venus trining her Pluto. Sorry, transiting Venus is trining her Pluto. So once again, I think that this could be protection. This also could mean that she may not lose as much money as I think she will. And another interesting one is that her Mercury and her Sun. So her Mercury is running in quincunx to her Pluto. This could represent some of the lack of support and people being very vocal about it once again on the internet, as well as her Sun as well as the current Sun running in quincunx to Jupiter. So this is going to refer to an adjustment in terms of the ways that people are going to see her. Other aspects and other reasons as to why I say I don't really think that she's going to be getting she's not going to be getting as much of a punishment for this as I think that maybe other people might want. So right now, transiting Sun, it is running in conjunction to her part of Fortune, and her part of Fortune, if I can remember this correctly, is running in Aries. So this deals with embracing her identity as well as doing more of what she wants. This is going to be another type of protection that she's going to get. Other protections I see is that she's going to have her of Fortune. It's running in conjunction with her Lilith, which is also in Aries. So this to me says that the fact that she has kind of done things her way, it is going to serve her in a way. Now, her part of Fortune is running in opposition to her vertex, and vertex is going to refer to unexpected responsibilities that we have to take. I do think that this could show that she might not be very well loved at this time. And the last one, though, is that the transiting vertex, so that's different, is running in conjunction with her Jupiter in Scorpio. So I think that maybe there could be like some protection that she's going to get from the universe as far as like an unexpected protection. Maybe we don't have the full story, and maybe there is another side to the story that we don't know about. Because I do believe that if Caresha has done all the things that the document is alleging, one, I do think she did all that. But second of all, like, we all rallied around and we had justice for Cassie, and I think that's partially because we don't know very much about her. But I would say that whatever Cassie went through, Caresha went through, and it might just be harder for the public to accept that because she was being a bit of a brat about it. And that does point to that Lilith at the 23rd degree of Scorpio, because it can refer to exceptions. It can refer to somebody who could use their mind and be like, oh, well, you can't do it, but I can do it. Hence all those text messages. A turnaround. I do see this as in she's probably gonna get away with this. I know it's not like what people want to hear. I think that more people want to be all like, oh, burn her at the stake. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I genuinely believe that this is going to be a chapter in Caresha's life. And I do think, though, with that North Node conjunct to her Pluto, she is most likely going to have another opportunity to invent herself again. So this has not been the last that we are going to hear of Caresha, aka Young Miami. But this will be the last of me that you're going to hear from in this video. So if you like the video, please like and share and subscribe. And go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. What did you think about this reading? Do you think that Young Miami needs to pay for her sins? Do you think that she should be let off? Do you think she was a victim? Do you think that she was just a perpetrator in this whole debacle? And what do you think about what could be the next step for her career? She's going to have one. Finally, if you need a natal chart reading, I like to try to keep these videos a little bit shorter. But if you would like a natal chart reading, please reach out to me at thatlitastrochick@gmail.com for my rates. I wish you a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever. And I will check you out in the next video.